Welcome to Practical Talk Time. I'm your host, Usha Kumar. We all have so much baggage in our lives, and we muddle through all the struggles that we face on an everyday basis. And at times, we wonder if there'd be anyone to help us through all this and help us make it in this life. I have a guest here who can do just that. It's Cindy Miller. She's a spiritual intuitive and a writer. And I'm so happy to have her here. She's also written a book, which is going to be released shortly, I think. Cindy, welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here with you, Usha.
I feel that my life was not mine. And I'm sure a lot of us feel that way. You know, you get up in the morning, you want to do something for yourself, but then you end up doing things for other people and try to please everyone else and then try to meet everybody else's expectations and forget, our own goals in our lives.
Right.
So what kind of help do you provide to someone like me?
Well,
in terms of handling these things.
Right. I think it's really important that you put yourself on your own agenda. We schedule things all day long of the to-do list, and the to-do list never ends. There will never be a completed to-do list. There is always something else to do. But I think it's really important that you put the focus on you, that you put the focus on, I've got to put myself on my own agenda and take care of what I need to do for me, because it's just like filling your car at the gas station with fuel. If you don't fuel yourself and fill yourself and take the time for yourself, you're not going to run as well. You're not going to feel as good. Life is going to unfold for you a lot differently. But when you take a moment, and we all have a moment, it's just that we have to choose to be mindful to say we're worthy of taking that moment, and we've got to be a little selfish and just go within and know that we are worth it, that we need to put ourselves on our own list, and we need to pay attention to ourselves. And that's one of the reasons this show today is called It's All About You, because all the power lies within you.
Again, not everybody's like that, right? On the other end of the spectrum, you have people that are extremely selfish and who think that they are the prima donnas or whatever, and they expect everybody else to keep doing things for them,
right?
To help them toward their goal,
right?
So how does one handle a person like that?
Well, I think when you look at people, and life is about relationship with yourself, relationship with God, relationship with others. When you come across people in your path, and we all come across them, that we may seem are difficult or push our hot spots or not very flexible, kind of look at them as, thank you for expanding me. Thank you for letting me stay in my truth and grounded to what I feel I need to do for myself. And when you give away your control to another person, that's just not a good thing. You want to stay fully controlled within yourself and explain why you can accomplish something at this moment and why you can't. And if they can't understand it, that's okay. It still is about going within in what your needs are, what you need to do to take care of yourself and feel good about this.
Even growing up, you find some children who feel pressured by the parents. Then at school, they feel pressured by the teachers or whatever the curriculum offers and what the school expects of them. And so it starts right there. And then even then you find all the different types of children.
Right.
Some that feel the pressure and keep meeting all the expectations, and then you have some children that don't bother with those. So how does that happen? It happens right there as a child?
Well, I think we're taught a lot of our beliefs at a very young age. Our parents have a very big impact on how they influence you and the role that they think you need to take in your life. But it's really up to you eventually to take self-responsibility to what it is you're choosing for yourself and for your life. You can be a people pleaser, but being a people pleaser, is that going to please you? And, you know, we're here for such a short span of time. Even if we live to be a centurion, which is my goal, to the ripe old age of 100, if we have 100 years to live out, that's not a lot of time in the spans of eternity. So it's really important for you to focus in on you. What is it that floats your boat? What is it? What drum are you hearing? What path do you feel you need to go down? Yes, it's great to have mentoring and parents who love you, but don't let a parent talk you out of your dreams and what's in your heart and what you're passionate about and what you feel that you're called here to do while you're here this lifetime.
Cindy, in your experience, have you found that children who kind of did their own thing did better later in life? I mean, have you ever followed
I have
those?
not tracked, but I do know Joseph Campbell. I love him, and he says, follow your bliss. And I know for me personally, it has taken me more than half my life to walk that out and to really understand that and be that. And with my life going kaput and blowing up in my face when I was in my 40s, I did a total 365-degree thing, saying this ain't working the way that I'm living. And even though people thought she has it all and she all this, it was really an illusionary look.
And how do people judge that you have it all?
I think they look at your cars, your houses, how you dress, your children, your family, and they make an assessment of you as just a unit, like going, oh, look at Usha, she's all put together and she's really happy, and you know, she's got a wonderful husband, and not sometimes really understanding what's internally going on in you. What are you really deeply feeling within your heart and your soul?
Yeah. And so you need people that will be understanding, or you yourself have to understand yourself, what's within you?
I think one of the things, I am coming out with a book this fall, and I do teach a group called The Journey Within, and it is really all within you, and I keep saying it's all about you. It is not having people understand you. People don't have to understand you. You have to understand yourself. You have to understand what brings you joy, what gives you peace, how do I feel contentment, what makes me angry, what makes me not lose patience. You've got to know what makes you tick, because once you understand more about you, everything out there looks a lot different. Everything that comes across your path is perceived with such a different set of eyes.
Moving from education to the work world, the world of work, where you have to make your earnings or living, the same thing continues, doesn't it?
As far as what?
As far as, again, expectations, pleasing people, doing things for others, yes.
Right. I think it's always nice to give and to be of service and to help someone. That just makes you feel wonderful. But in work, I think many people feel they are stuck in a certain profession, or they can't go after their dreams, or they're not going to make money doing this, and this isn't going to unfold for them. And I think, you know, you're here, everyone's here with a purpose and is good at doing something. And I think you shouldn't let that economic block that I'm not going to make it, I'm not going to be taken care of. You know, God steps in. I'm a very big believer in God and spirituality and all of that stuff. There is so much abundance here on this planet. There is not lack. We tend to focus on the lack versus the abundance of what we do have. And I think, you know, even in the economic times that we're in right now, people are, you know, panicking or getting stretched. I think it's a good time to reinvent ourselves, to reinvent and say, what can I do within myself to economically make money a different way?
That is very true. One of the struggles today is about jobs.
Right.
Not having the jobs, not having enough income.
Right.
Even though you're working very hard.
Right.
And even if you're willing to work very hard, there's, you know, opportunities seem limited. And any investments, any money that you saved and thought you would be getting some return from it, no returns are coming. Even that money is losing its value. And that's a very, very important stressor in life for people today.
Right, but what I have to say in response to that is that the biggest investment we have is the investment we have in ourselves. And, you know, I saw the movie Avatar, and I've said this many times to people who know me, and I didn't really want to see it. It was like this sci-fi thing, and somehow I got to see it, and I was so glad that I saw it. And the Avatar is, one of the characters in the show says, you've been given a certain amount of energy here, use it well, and you need to return it one day when you leave. Yes. And I think when we think about that, all the stocks, all the investments, all the jobs, all the stuff that we get so crazed about, we're not taking any of that with us anyway. And it's the big picture that I feel that we need to focus on, being in the moment. What is the joy of today? What has been given to you today? It's just that stop that chatter in your head and focus on the mindfulness within you of just experience the moment and the joy of life.
So a person has to understand oneself.
Yeah.
And then do the best they can. Don't expect anything from the world.
Well,
or expect or use your energies wisely, as you said.
Well, have an expectation that things will unfold for you the way that they're meant to, and be very positive about what is going on. Negativity just breeds more negativity. If you can look out and be hopeful and optimistic and positive and say, what is this teaching me? Thank you for I'm glad I learned this today. This is a new opportunity. This is a new way for me to look at something. Then your experiences are very different. I want to give a personal experience. I am a spiritual intuitive. I do counseling. I've got a book coming out. Yay, yay, yay. And I'm very excited, and I'm kind of like, you know what, if none of that ever came to be, and it just all went out the window, and I am left with me, am I still happy if none of that succeeded? And I'd say absolutely yes. Yes, I'd love a best-selling book and, oodles of dollars. But in essence, I love me, and I love where I am in my life. And I appreciate the gift of life and being here today to take another breath in. I'm not guaranteed that I'm going to be here tomorrow. So there's a real appreciation of just saying, wow, today is a great day.
Appreciating the day, appreciating what God has given you.
Yeah.
And also appreciating the good life you have.
Yeah,
I think it's important to keep yourself happy.
Yeah, I say to God, and this is a new mantra I say daily now, is I say, thank you, God, for such a great day today, and tomorrow's going to be even a better one. And I just have this expectation that today's an amazing day, and I'm looking forward to the amazing day that's going to unfold for me tomorrow as well. So I think, law of attraction, energetically, thoughts, creative, co-creative things, our thoughts, vibrate and help create circumstances. And I think the more positive that we can be, and the more trust and faith that we have in God and in ourselves, that we can endure, we can get through things in a manner that we have come here to learn. We have come here to seek, gain knowledge. We have come here to make a difference and a different purpose. But it's also not just being a human doing, it's being a human being and learning to just be and to be joyful.
Tell me something about the relationships that everybody has in their lives.
Yeah.
And why that's very important.
Yeah. I say in the book that I'm coming out with, there's a lot of in-depth questions and things for you to answer, very deep probing things of what you hold in your heart and things that you struggle with. And I think for relationship, the biggest relationship you have to have is the one with yourself. Because if you don't have a good relationship with yourself, and you don't understand yourself, and you cannot be joyful, and you cannot give love, and you don't want to receive love, you're just going to not be a very happy camper here while you're here. But if you really understand you and really just what you feel and why am I feeling that and how can I lose that feeling if it's not a good one and how can I focus myself on a better feeling thought. And then the second the first a relationship with God, to understand the God of your understanding, that there is so much more to these spacesuits than this, that life in the grand scheme, I mean, the planet's thousands of years old, and we're going to be here for a span of time, and that time we're going to be spending in eternity, that's really more what to focus on.
That is more important.
More
and
important.
A lot of people don't believe in that.
No.
And that all the eternity of living by the soul.
Yeah.
And compared to that, this life is very short.
It's like
extremely short.
Short. So I think when we focus on, well, why was I put down here to do what I'm doing for this span of time, however many years that we're afforded, that's what we really need to focus on. And how can I do the best job of being me, and what can I give to myself to enjoy life more? And then when we're enjoying ourselves and we're feeling good about ourselves, man, we can make a bigger difference where we go and who we impact on, because they go, I want what Usha has. She seems to be really happy and I'm not, and I wonder what's making her so happy. And, I want a dose of that. And I think people really, really want to feel that sense of peace and contentment and the gratitude of the day.
Also, please, Cindy, please tell me about conflicts in relationships and what causes conflicts.
I think what causes conflicts is that we all want to be right. We all want to be right about something, and we want to say, I know more than you do, or he doesn't know, or they shouldn't have done this. It's really wanting to be about right. But the joy in the conflict is, and I'm learning this, is thank you for the expansion. Because when I do have a conflict, like the mirror is like, go within and say, what's within you that's causing the other person you're with to, very often we're mirroring attributes in each other, that the things I don't like about you, I have those very same traits within me, and then I'm battling you about those traits where I got to heal those traits within me, because when I heal those traits within me, I'm not going to battle with you about those. And I think is the appreciation of, when we don't have to always be right all the time. There is not a right, there is not a wrong. It is like a sense of an opinion of how you view it and how I view it, and let it be. And when you know that someone cannot take your truth from you, and you are grounded and centered in your thoughts, your beliefs, your knowledge, what you do isn't going to affect me anyway.
How about attitudes and egos?
Well, they say that ego is edging God out, and attitudes are so important. And I think it's so important for us to remain humble and to know that when the learning stops, we'll not be here. I think there is so much for us to learn, including myself, on a continual basis. There's always a point to reassess, to do a check on yourself and see, how am I handling things? How am I processing this day? If I'm in a crummy attitude, why is that? If I'm alienating people, what's going on with me that I'm doing this? So I think our attitude is, they say spirituality is mindfully controlling your thinking. Somebody shared that with me the other day, and I said, wow, that is so true. Because when we're very mindful and not like brainwashed, but controlling, like, why am I responding like that to Usha if I'm being nasty or yelling or screaming? Like, that's beneath me. There's no need for that. Can I express myself to her in a loving, caring, kind way?
How does one go about with the proper way of communicating?
With love. And I think when we can all come with love and without fear, because they say, fear, what's the opposite of love is fear, is that when we come from love, there's just such a greater understanding amongst people in a relationship, and coming from your heart and not attacking each other that we tend to do. We can tend to point fingers and criticize and be critical and judgmental, and it's just really, there's just such a higher way to go.
A lot of people that are not happy don't know the proper way of communicating, and they're not able to love themselves.
Right.
And that's why they're showing so much anger and negativity towards others.
I think when they're so unhappy, there's something, like you said, something deep is going on within, I say, their soul spirit, a struggle that, they're just not happy with many things, and they need to pray. I always say pray and ask to be healed where that anger is taken from them, and to journal about it or work with an intuitive or a coach like myself or someone else out there and do some sessions and put the work into themselves to get out of that space. Because an angry space with an awful attitude is not a fun life to unfold for yourself.
So how can one bring joy into their own lives?
I think bringing joy, and again I stress this book that I have coming out has so many techniques, so many tools, so many prayers, so many exercises for you to do, but sometimes joy has to be taught. I wasn't, I had a lot of healing to go through. I had a lot of changes that I had to make transformationally wise, and thank you, God, for helping me make those changes. But I had to be taught joy. And one of the ways I learned joy is I prayed in joy. I asked God, please let me understand joy. Please bring more joy into my life. And then different things would unfold, different invitations, different people. Also, I would try different things to see, what does that feel like? Let me just try this. And I would experience different things and go, wow, that was really a lot of fun. Or, nah, I tried it, but I didn't really like it. So there's ways of creating joy for yourself from, simple things. The simple things of eating an ice cream cone and having it be the best chocolate ice cream cone you ever had, to, just taking a walk. But it really lies from within your spirit.
And in order to bring the spirit out, keep the spirit happy, you have to also go about doing the things that you're passionate about.
Correct.
So how do you find the things
that you're passionate about?
Yeah.
It can be just through different experiences and adventures that you take. Go on adventures. Go to the beach. There's the site meetup out there that you can go to, different book discussions, card playing. Put yourselves in different social situations and say, wow, did I resonate with that? Was that fun for me? Or, yeah, that wasn't really my thing. And get yourself out there into the flow of life. And whether it's working with animals, whether it's working with children, see what really resonates and feels good for you. Like our soul spirits, our soul spirits just have this way of knowing, oh wow, when I'm with kids, it takes me to another zone and I feel so happy, and they make me laugh. And so then maybe there's something with childcare that you should be doing that you're passionate about. Or someone might say, I just love meditating in a quiet space, so maybe for you it's just going to the beach weekly or whatever, every day doing a meditation. But you will uncover your passion, and praying in that, just say, God, help me to see what it is that is within me that I can be passionate about, because I'm not feeling very passionate right now. And get yourself around some positive people. Just surround yourself with people, and they're out there, trust me. And also watch some humorous movies. Humor helps. When we can lighten up that load and laugh off some things and not take ourselves so seriously, a lot more passion unfolds.
I don't know if you know, but in some cultures they do have these laughing clinics. Where they just go there and you laugh. At the joke, you start something funny.
Yeah.
Everybody laughs. And it seems to be extremely therapeutic.
Yeah.
And so definitely humor is a big... but not many people are naturally gifted with humor.
Right.
I mean, we can laugh when someone else says something funny, but you don't have the ability to say something funny yourself.
Right. But it's the ability of being able to laugh. You don't have to be the performer, you don't have to be the comedian, but to appreciate the humor in life at times, that just not to take everything so serious, and to, there is so much whimsical joy to the day.
So much of a person's life is spent working these days.
Yes. Yes.
And it's come to a point where the younger generation, they think work is life.
Right.
Where do they find joy in this life? We only have 2 minutes.
Well, the famous line is, they're not going to read your resume at your funeral. So to bear that in mind, that if you think life is just work instead of life is joyful and passionate and spiritual, just start to do some journaling within and do some real soul searching and ask yourself some really deep questions, and come to the journey group or sit down with me or read my book to really uncover and discover the joy in having a wonderful life.
So a lot of people, even though they want to bring joy into their lives, they want to handle all the struggles in their lives successfully and be successful at work, at home, and with society in general. I think what they're missing is a coach, someone to help them understand themselves, and also someone to show them the way how to be happy, how to not get pulled in by all these temptations and greed that's now so prevalent.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Well, I do life coaching, and one of the things about coaching is it gives you, I would say, like an accountability partner. That very often we can make these promises, but sometimes with the coach and you check in, and the coach and you keep track of the progress you're making and saying, did you do that for yourself? And you can say, no, I didn't. And you go, well, why not? And you go, good question, I got to go work on that again. So it's really good sometimes to sit down with someone to reassess so that you can relearn to put the focus back on yourself.
How about, what should a person do at work to be successful?
What should they do at work to be successful?
Just because they can't change their jobs in this economy.
I think that they can be their authentic self, that they can be kind and loving, that they can be a good communicator, that they have an appreciation of their coworkers, and form a relationship with your coworkers. Get to know them on a deeper level, so that you can understand what's going on in each other's lives besides what's just going on at the office.
Today I was talking to another very good friend of mine, and she was telling me that her sister in her office has the sign, do only good things, think only good thoughts, and good things will happen to you. Well, thank you all for watching, and until next time, goodbye.